The ANC Deputy Secretary-General, Duarte, has announced that members of the newly formed ANC Youth League National Task Team, some of them may have to be removed. She says those who are over 35 years cannot serve on the body, which has been tasked with taking the league to an elective conference. Last week, Duarte requested the identity documents of the 35 members of the team in a bid to verify claims some were above the age limit. The suspended Secretary-General of the ANC, had suggested last month that proper vetting had to be done and all those appointed meet the party's constitutional requirements. We're joined now by Newzroom, the convener of the ANC National League, of the ANC Youth League's National Task Team. Excuse me. Newzroom, good afternoon to you. Thank you. How many members of your task team are over the age of 35?
Good afternoon, Stephen. I don't know. As you just said in your introduction, that the DSG did a media briefing yesterday, and she mentioned 6. So we are yet to receive the report on the verification process, because remember, Stephen, we did not appoint ourselves. We were appointed by the ANC. Hence, the process of verifying that we all meet the constitutional requirements as per the constitution of the Youth League is being handled by the ANC and not by us. So until we receive the report, I wouldn't be able to tell you who is affected and who would not be affected.
I presume everybody is complied and handed over a copy, a certified copy, I suppose, of their ID document. No one has magically lost theirs?
The deadline for us to have submitted our documents was the 6th of May, which was last week Thursday. I am yet to get a report in terms of whether we all have complied or not, but the deadline was last week Thursday, and we do trust that all of the entity members would have met the deadline as set out by the DSG when she communicated with us as a task team.
And you've complied, obviously, I presume.
Yes, I complied. I can confirm that I was born on the 3rd of June, 1990.
Oh, things about you I didn't know. It's one thing to remove the people who were on the task team when they were over the age of 35. But if someone, and most people know how old they are, but if someone actually tried to get onto the task team or was appointed by the NEC onto the task team and knew they were over the age, presumably they should have said so. In other words, to remove them may not be enough. They may need to be held accountable in other ways. They might have lied.
So again, this issue has come up in our meeting, our very first meeting. This issue did come up. We had the media briefing that we had, as you said in your introduction. The question was asked in the media briefing where we were being introduced. So it has been a lingering issue that has come up from time to time, which is why we then said to the ANC, in order for us to not have any questions around our legitimacy, because, where there's smoke, there is fire. Let's have this process of verification to ensure that everyone who forms part of the task team does meet the constitutional requirement for us to be able to do the necessary work in terms of rebuilding the Youth League. So we do hope that everyone has complied. We do hope that this process will not lead to, anything where there are certain accusations of people who would have, cheated in terms of their ages and had soccer ages and things like that. And we hope that once we receive a report from the DSG's office, we'll be able to proceed with our work of rebuilding and reviving the ANC.
I must ask about Ace Makashule. He, of course, is suspended. He has until Friday to apologize, I think in public, but to ANC structures for attempting to suspend President Cyril Ramaphosa as leader of the ANC. Do you believe he should apologize?
It's a decision of the NEC, and I hope that the SG will comply with that particular decision. So we really do hope that he will be able to comply with the decision. I do think that it is in the best interest of the organization and in the best interest of the person as well to comply with that particular decision of the NEC. As we know that the NEC is the highest decision-making body of the organization in between conferences.
And I must ask you, it's a slightly technical question, but I think it might be important. Do you respect, so Jessie Duarte is the Deputy Secretary-General. She's not the Acting Secretary-General. She's the Deputy Secretary-General, but she is running the Secretary-General's office. Do you respect her authority?
In fact, the authority of the DSG, in her position as DSG and the role that she's now assumed since the suspension of the SG must never be in question. In fact, the ANC came out very strong this past weekend to really speak out against any attempts to intimidate, any attempts to undermine the DSG, the person of the DSG, as well as the office that she occupies, because at the end of the day, she occupies a position that she was elected into, one, but secondly, the constitution of the ANC empowers her to resume the responsibilities of the SG in the absence of the SG on behalf of that particular SGO's office. So her authority is not in question, and I'm quite happy. In fact, we are quite happy that that was sort of reiterated by the president himself when he spoke after in his closing remarks, as well as by the ANC collective. And I also think that there is a tendency to try and undermine and intimidate women who assume certain roles, and the DSG can never and must never fall victim to that. We will not allow that to happen.
Maflali, thank you very much indeed, convener of the ANC's National Youth Task Team for the ANC Youth League. We appreciate it. Thank you.